been taking on all this baggage, adding on so much weight. Had me thinking that I was average when you really don't play.
Today is my favorite day of the month. Can you guess why? It's payday. Anyways, so I'm actually really excited about this video. Been thinking about it like for the past week or so. Trying to remember everything that I want to put in, everything that I want to include, make sure I cover all my bases. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. Honestly, I was never the type of person who liked budgeting. I actually really hated it. It just reminded me of all the money that I wasn't making. Basically, I just felt like I wasn't making enough money. The paycheck would go into my account and I just felt like it wouldn't last. So I would just let the paycheck go into my account, pay the bills that I needed to pay, and then whatever was left was left. It wasn't always a lot, or I felt like it wasn't a lot, but that was before I discovered this current budgeting method that I've been using for the past probably like 3 years, and I've kind of just sort of perfected it now. It's very easy, very simple, and it has helped me save a lot of money, and it has also helped me just evaluate my financial goals. Like, I realized that you don't see the potential of your paycheck if you're not writing it down and visualizing it. When you're visualizing it just in your head, you don't see the different areas that you could be saving or you could potentially be cutting back on certain things. I'm gonna first start out with the 5 tips that I think are essential to know when it comes to budgeting, and then I'll go into my specific budget and basically my payday routine, and then I'll explain how I was able to incorporate those tips so that it works for me. So the first tip is be realistic. You want to always be realistic with your financial goals. So for example, if you know you need to go on vacation next year, you want to make sure you pen and paper, don't wait until, oh, I'll wait until a couple months and I'll start saving for it. No, start saving now so that when those couple months come and now you have to take out a bigger portion of your paycheck, or now you have to save a bigger portion in a shorter amount of time, it becomes like very unrealistic, and then you realize like, dang, I don't think I'm going to be able to make this trip. So start a year out. If you don't know a year out, 6 months. You have to, if you're going on vacation, you have to at least know or have an idea that you're going on vacation within a reasonable amount of time. So you budget out, how much am I going to need for a vacation? You have to make sure you get your flight, have an idea how much your flight is going to cost, your hotel, food, tips, all of that. You have to cover every part of the vacation so that when it comes to the vacation, when it comes time for the vacation, you're not thinking like, oh dang, I only have $100. I have to make it work for these like 5 different categories, and you're gonna realize like it's not enough, and then you're gonna probably end up using like a credit card or something. You're just not gonna enjoy your time on vacation. So that's what I mean when I say be realistic when you're setting financial goals. If you need to pay off a credit card debt and you know you have $6,000 credit card, but you only make $2,000 a month, you can't expect that you're going to pay off that credit card within 3 or 4 months. Like, you have to be realistic when you're budgeting. The next tip is to plan in advance, and this also goes ahead with being realistic. Like I said in the examples previously, you have to think ahead of your goals. What are your financial goals? Do you need to buy a house soon or within the next year? You have to think ahead. Basically, you have to think, what are the goals that I want for myself in the future? If that includes a house, then you need to think, okay, so what time frame do I need to give myself to save a down payment for a house? Or I need a new car. Like, my current car is not up to par. I know sooner or later I'm going to need a new car. You don't want to wait until your car breaks down to be like, oh, I need a new car. I don't have enough money for a down payment, or I don't have enough money to make car payments. So you have to plan ahead. You have to, okay, so I need a new car within the next year. I need to save this much money for a down payment so that my car payment is not as much, because I can only afford a $300 or $200 car payment. So I need to be able to pay this much money down to be able to afford that. So that's what I mean when I say plan in advance. And again, goes with planning vacation or planning because you want to save money for a certain thing. The next tip that I have, make sure you have a online bank savings account. So I use Ally, which is ALLY, and I have 2 accounts with them. It's very easy to open up an account, and then within those accounts I have different budgets. I have different buckets. So I have a bucket fund for vacation. I have a bucket fund for beauty stuff, like if I want to go get my hair done, or I want to get my eyelashes done, stuff like that, my nails done. I have a bucket for my dog, because I know that every so often I need to buy his dog food or I need to take him to the vet. I have a bucket fund for my car. I have a bucket fund to save for a house. I have a whole bunch of different buckets. So, and that just helps me keep track of how much money I've saved for each thing. Make sense? So, and my account is a high yielding savings account. So basically, I think it's up to like 3% right now, maybe more. Also, along with that, I would avoid having a savings account with a bank that you're doing business with. And I mean business as in you borrow money from them, like a loan, credit card, car payment. I wouldn't mix the two, because at the end of the day, if anything happens and you owe them money and you can't pay it, and they see, oh well, she has this savings account, they can take legal actions against you to pay them their funds. So at the end of a paycheck, so let's say I got paid 2 weeks ago and now we're at the beginning of a new paycheck. So I got paid today. Whatever money you have left over from the last paycheck, save it. So let's say you know that you need to save for something, but you're not able to budget it within your budget for your paycheck, because technically it's not that important. It's more so a want than a need. But at the end of your paycheck, when you're budgeting for your when you get your next paycheck, you realize, oh, I have $100 left over from my last paycheck, or I have $50 left over from my last paycheck. You can take that money and put it into whatever it is that you want, like you need to save for. Let's say you wanted to get your nails done and it wasn't a priority, that you were able to budget it within your last paycheck, and you were not able to budget it in this paycheck, then whatever money you have, use that as a reward and say, okay, I'm going to use this money to go get my nails done, or I'm going to save this money and use it later to go get my hair done, or I'm going to save this money because I'm really trying to pay for something in the future. So I'm going to take that money, I'm going to put it into my savings account in my whatever bucket and save for whatever that is. It's good to have an idea that you want to save this money, because as the weeks go by, when you're swiping your card, like you're thinking to yourself, well, do I really need this? Because I'm really trying to save this money, save as much money as I can from this last paycheck to go get my nails done. So I'm not gonna use this yet, or I'm not gonna get this right now. Maybe I'll get it later, but right now I really want to get my nails done. So I'm gonna make sure when I get my next paycheck, I have money left over from my last paycheck. And then the last tip, number 5, you want to budget under the projected amount that you are expected to get paid. So let's say you always get paid $1,200 every 2 weeks, and it doesn't really change. It may go up, but it never goes below $1,200. You want to budget for $1,100. So yeah, those are pretty much the 5 tips that I keep in mind when I'm budgeting, and it has been super helpful. I've been able to save a lot more money, and I see a lot more of my paycheck when I follow these tips. Okay, Alright, so hey guys, so as I was editing this video, I realized that one, it was becoming too long, and two, the app that I was supposed to be using every dollar, that was my first time trying it, and it just wasn't working out the way that I wanted it to work. So I had to go back to like pen and paper when I was doing my payday routine. So I decided that I'm just gonna split this video into two. One is going to be for budgeting tips, and then which is this one, and then the next video that I'm gonna do is gonna be my payday routine. I'm gonna go ahead and re-record that, and then I'll be uploading that. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you're able to use these tips. I try to make them as feasible as possible. So, and then these are tips that I use myself, and it has definitely worked out. So try these tips out and let me know what you think. If you've already been implementing some of these, you can go ahead and just put it down below so that others can see these are things that are actually helping, or things that are actually helpful. So thank you guys for watching this video, and make sure you stay tuned for the next one. Make sure to subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all the videos that I come out with. I'll see you guys in the next one.